Here are 5 warning signs that you should not start online coaching. Fortunately, they are all totally reversible, and if you can get them nailed, you're going to be very successful. So if you can excuse my big red nose, let's get into them. We are very pro you building an online coaching or fitness business, but if you make any of these 5 mistakes, you're pretty much guaranteeing failure. So mistake number 1 is don't be boring. In the world of the internet, if you're boring, you are beyond redemption. What you think will happen when you make content is, if I tread carefully and don't offend anyone and try and get everyone on side, then everyone's going to like me and everyone's going to buy my stuff. What happens instead is that you've watered down your content and you've squeezed out any semblance of personality, and nobody can resonate with you now. You have to be prepared to rustle a few jimmies once in a while. So have a look at our Instagram for some examples of some jimmy rustling.
There's a whole world of personal trainers trapped in this atmosphere of other personal trainers on Instagram, and they all post the same stuff to one another. And you look at their followers and they're all following each other, and that's their following. And they all think because of this that the online fitness industry is crowded because all you see on Instagrams are the PTs, when actually it's just this little group of about 5,000 people who just post to each other all day. But
that's the fitness industry in a nutshell right there.
Yeah, basically. What that creates is like people see someone with 10,000 followers and they think, oh, they're posting all of this like Canva graphics where you slide and it looks like one continuous image and the neon text, and that's what they've got. 10,000 followers, they must be successful, even though 5,000 of the 10,000 are the other personal trainers, and the other 5,000 were purchased through some kind of person who messages you saying, hey, you struggling with your Instagram? That leads to basically people thinking, I'd quite like to talk about this thing, but what I probably have to do to be successful in the fitness industry is do the swipey things with the Canva graphics and it's boring. And that's so like, how do you not be boring? Don't do the stuff that everyone else is doing, that people are sick of seeing, that is the same message regurgitated 1,000 times. Just say what you think.
Mistake number 2 is don't start online coaching if you can't get a result for your client. It seems like it should go without saying, but it's so easy to get caught up with the online marketing stuff and optimizing your sales page and your webinar and your funnel to forget that you've got a client in front of you that just wants your help, and you need to be able to get them from A to B. Getting the result for someone is the most important thing, because that's what's going to speak about your business long term. If I had a choice between hiring 2 coaches, one of them was just worried about collecting letters after his name, and he's a level 43 kettlebell plum wizard warlord, and the other one doesn't have any qualifications, but he is obsessed with the subject matter of getting the result that I'm after. Of course I'm going to hire that guy. Plum wizard can keep his plums. Another common thing we see is people who go after a specific niche because like that's where the money is, bro. Why do you think 50-year-old overweight Margaret is going to take any advice from a 25-year-old guy who's been in shape all of his life, who has no kids, no commitments? You have to be seen as an authority in the niche that you're serving. And the easiest way to do that is to serve you from 3 years ago. You intimately know all of the challenges and struggles that you were facing 3 years ago. So don't let imposter syndrome get in the way. If your thing is muscle gain for men, don't be thinking, oh, but Ronnie Coleman's more muscly than me, so I couldn't possibly be credible. Well, yeah, but Ronnie Coleman's up in the rarefied atmosphere of banana leggings and ain't nothing but a peanut. So he won't necessarily be a great coach for somebody who's just starting out, because he's lost sight of that. Mistake number 3 is don't start online coaching if you have less than £1,000 to your name. If you're going to do this properly, you will need to pay for software and ads, and you will have running expenses. If you're trying to do that on your last £1,000, you are going to make some wacky decisions. We have seen people quit their jobs prematurely, give themselves 0 runway. Suddenly, they're making some really funky, wacky decisions because they're just worried about getting paid this month and eating this month. They get so focused on trying to make the sale that they lose sight of the bigger picture, serving their clients, and they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot long term. Speaking of which, mistake number 4 is don't start online coaching if you want instant results. Think back to your fitness journey. If you saw someone promising 6-pack abs in a month or 50 pounds of muscle gain in a month, you'd be like, well, clearly not. Like, this stuff requires consistent hard work. And it's exactly the same. So don't fall in for the hype of the 6-figure Fit Pro business coaches that will claim 20k in the first month. They might have the odd person that does that, but they are the exception, not the rule, and probably they're doing it because they're already capitalizing on a big following or something. And mistake number 5, don't start an online business if you can barely use a computer. A really common thing that we hear is, oh, well, I'm terrible with technology. That's not an inborn trait. Nobody was born bad with technology. So it's a fixed mindset excuse that people use to avoid doing the hard stuff. Realistically, if you're looking to get the benefits of an online business, the profits, the scalability, the location freedom, then you need to become conversant in the language of online business. So figure out what are the key business actions that I need to do day to day, and what are the software or skills that I need to do that. And if it's really insurmountable, outsource it, hire someone to do that stuff. We have a podcast episode which is a full practical guide on what to do if you think you're bad with technology, so listen to that in the description below. There we go, 5 reasons that you should not start an online coaching business. Because you've made it this far, we have a full free video guide on how we set up, built and scaled Propane Fitness, our fitness company, and it's not a sales webinar, it's not a teaser or anything, it's literally the full process that you can just take and do out of the box for free. So have a look at that, it's in the link in the description below. We've had people tell us that there's more value in that video than in thousands of pounds that they've spent on business coaching from Fit Pro gurus. So have a look at that, and in the meantime, remember to subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.